G'day guys, welcome back to another episode of U-BOAT on U-96. It's the 22nd of March 1941. So recently we've had a little bit of success with the deck gunning and the torpedoes. Hopefully we can achieve that and a little bit more today as well. And today's orders, we are heading just to the north of Ireland. So just take a look at the map here. We can see our patrol sector just slightly northwest of the mainland of Ireland. That's where we're heading. Passing right through these good shipping lanes that are right here though. So if all else fails, we can come back here and use these hunting grounds here, just where it says Celtic Sea. And we've got a message from the BDU coming in here. We've only just left the base, but we'll take it. Hopefully it's going to be something good and productive for us. A very valuable radar prototype on the ship Venezuela. Well, that sounds good to me. Let's see where they are on the map, and we will close in. And it's a decent sized convoy, so we shall definitely start plotting an interception course, and we'll try and get there as quickly as we can. Hopefully they're not going to be going too far ahead of us. Okay, well, we're plotting the course to try and intercept this convoy, and we've actually encountered a solo ship here while we are up on the surface. So lucky it didn't have any big guns on it or anything, but we are gonna cruise up alongside this with the deck gun and we'll take care of that. And that's a good start to the episode. Some easy tonnage for us. It's going to be a good start, and then we can get in there and try and take down the rest of this convoy, hopefully with torpedoes, and we'll probably have to use the deck gun a little bit as well. We don't have the snorkel just yet, but we're not going to let that, we're not going to dwell too much on that. We should hopefully have that by the next episode. We are researching it as we speak, but it's just whether it's going to be ready or not by the time we get back. So we'll just shoot this thing down, and we are going to need to get back up to a full speed and start intercepting this enemy convoy. Well, there we go. That should do the goods for us. That should just slowly burn away and go down. We can always pop another shot into that if we need to, but I think we've done enough. So that's a good start for us. Just a lone Empire found cruising around. Gonna go down. Nice to get some tonnage under our belt today, and we can kick things off shortly with a good attack of this convoy. I'm hoping that we can take down pretty much every ship there is in that convoy. So that'll be good for the tonnage and also to get the mission done. But to start things off, we've got ourselves another Empire going down to the bottom, so we need to crack on and catch up with the big convoy. Okay, so just gonna have to be going evasive here for a bit. I think we've freaked them out a little bit, but at least the destroyers are heading off away from us. So we just need to make sure that we stick with the main target here, the Venezuela. So I think if we get in nice and close, too close that they can't miss with a torpedo, I suppose, would be a good shout. So we'll come back up to PD. And she has been hit, but she has basically got 0 damage, unfortunately. So we need to just double check that we've got everything right. I can't believe that last torpedo did absolutely nothing. It was almost, might as well have been a dud. So we'll come in for a second strike here, and hopefully the second torpedo will do the work. Okay, so the heading's 103 degrees, so we'll take that away from 360, leaves us 257, and we are pretty much close enough to this Empire that it shouldn't matter if we don't get the solution 100% perfect. As long as the speed is pretty accurate, I think we should just be just fine. But we just want to get this shot out and gone straight away. And that way, if we can get rid of this thing, then we can start picking off some of the bigger targets in here. This is the cargo ship that we need to take down, so we'll try and get it right. So what are you? You have Empire Belt, and distance, you must be pretty close. Yep, plenty close enough for a torpedo. And a quick speed solution. She does look like she's punching. Okay, and we'll stop the clock right there. 7 knots. Oh, I thought she was moving faster than that, but she must have calmed down enough by now. So 1 torpedo should be enough, hopefully, to send her down this time. So tube 3, fire away. Well, she is one stubborn bitch here. She has had 2 good hits and barely any damage has been done. That first torpedo was pretty much a dud. It was a strike, but it didn't do any damage. And you can see she is sitting lower in the water than she should be. But again, that second torpedo's done almost nothing. So, I mean, it's only an Empire. It's not really like a big Liberty or C3. I would expect them to be 1 torpedo pretty much to do the work, but kind of try to make sure with 2. And it would appear we're probably going to have to make a 3rd shot. And the way she's going, I might be tempted to send 2 torpedoes her way this time, just to make sure, but I don't know what's going on here today. But so far, by the time this thing goes down, we're going to have 3 torpedoes dealt with. Why have we got soldiers, sailors being killed here? What's happening? What happened to you? I don't know. Now we've got a little bit of morale issues anyway. Obviously the guys haven't had a holiday yet the whole time that we've been playing this career, so let's chuck a little bit of extra food into the galleys for them, and then we should be able to make them a little bit happier if they've got a variety of food. And we might have to get somebody playing cards as well if we can. So we'll just put, we don't have a variety too much of food, but should be enough to at least boost them up just a little bit, hopefully. So yeah, back to this Empire. We're gonna have to get pretty much in its face just again like we were previously, and we're gonna have to do another point blank attack, I think, and we'll just hopefully the next torpedo is going to be enough to do the business. Seems to be getting away from us actually. We better try and get in front. Okay, we don't know what's going on with our ship here. We are in a bit of a funny situation though, but we are probably close enough now that we can just go for another strike pretty much straight away. Look how low she is in the water. You'd think that a couple of shots with a deck gun would be nice, but still got a lot of destroyers and armored ships around, so we need to make sure that we're going to do the job right. Let's try and get a speed reading here. And we'll stop the clock there. That looked pretty quick, but 6 knots it is. So we'll send 1 torpedo, and praying that this is going to send it down and we can actually start doing some proper attacks here. Okay, there we go. So we did end up doing the full damage. Now it's just all about, is she going to actually flood enough to go under? She doesn't look like she's in a good situation here at all. It's a Swedish ship as well, so a little bit surprised that Command have told us to sink it, but it is carrying the goods. And there we have mission complete, sink the ship. So there goes the Venezuela, and we've also sunk the tonnage that we need to sink. That's not enough for us, obviously. We've still got torpedoes and deck gun ammunition on board, so let's tidy up the map. And we'll get away from this convoy just for a minute, let them all calm down and reform. And then we'll come back in for another opportunity and see if we can sink something. There's quite a lot of Norwegian ships in here as well, actually, so we might need to pick our targets quite well, but let's just break off and see what we can come back to. Okay, we've got a small group of ships here which looked like a good opportunity to get some tonnage, and there's a nice big tanker in here which I think is going to be priority number 1. Let's get those red lights on and we could take a look at this thing. So they're traveling at around about 90 degrees, so 88 is good for me. Now I need to recognize tanker. Not too familiar with all the tankers, don't see them often, but it's one of the ones with all its funnels at the back. It's just got one small skinny one actually, so must be one of those. Distance, hopefully she's within the 5Ks, and we'll just do a quick speed check here, and as long as she is not boosting too much, we can send a torpedo her way. And stopping the clock right there, 4 knots. I can believe it. That felt like it took forever. Probably going to need to do 2 torpedoes for this thing, just to make sure. And hopefully we'll see some fireworks as well. That's one of the best things about the tankers. So tubes 3 and 4 away. Well, there we go. Got our 2 good hits there. Saw some fires going off as well, and that damage looks to be just enough to send her straight down to the bottom. So that is good news for us, and we can we are going to have to dive and move away from this convoy here, because they are going to be coming for us. And we can try and pick ourselves a new target, but we need to try and avoid any depth charges and contact, obviously, from the destroyers, anything like that. So we will head away from them. Luckily they're all down here to the south, so we'll head up to the north, and then we will sail away to the right and just pretty much shadow these guys. But we do have to get quite some way from them, just because we don't have the snorkel, so we'll need to actually resurface the ship and cruise along on the surface so that we can replenish the electric motors and the oxygen. But that's not too much of a concern, so we'll just come back up, decks awash, and if they do end up coming close to us, at least we can dive down quite quickly. So we just really needed to replenish the oxygen, because it does go away quite quickly, and the worst thing is when it disappears and you're kind of in the midst of an attack or trying to evade. So there's still plenty of ships in here for us to take, so let's just wait for them to come in nice and close. Hopefully they have all calmed down enough to do an attack by that point. I mean, they have had a little bit of distance to cover, but it's not heaps. It would have been nicer to have the snorkel, but can't have everything, as we know, so we'll have that. Hopefully going to have that in the next episode, like I said earlier, and then we can start researching other good stuff. But we are going to need everyone to be fully fit here. The guy on the hydrophone is our main priority to help us spot any enemy warships that might come our way. So we don't really have anything here worth attacking with a torpedo, so we'll just sit still for a bit. I was really hoping to find that tanker. Now here it is. So we have found the tanker. Let's just double check that they are still doing the same course as they were previously, pretty much 90, so that's all good. So we'll just do a solution for the tanker, and then I think we'll pretty much repeat what we just did. Do a little bit of a runaway and make sure those warships aren't coming for us. And if there's anything that we can strike with the deck gun, we could do that, I suppose. Yeah, what kind of tanker is this? It's a T2, I think. Stack in the middle, big fat funnel on the back. Kind of looks like it's listing a little bit to its starboard. Might just be the shadows, but we'll let that close in a little bit more. Not too happy with the angle that we're going to have to be shooting at, and also quite hard to get the solution up. And we have a warship in there as well, so lucky we didn't get in too close. But we'll do our time solution here and a couple of torpedoes, and then we'll get on the evading again, and hopefully we'll get another strike here. And stop there. 4 knots, that's perfect. Let's just double check the distance just to be sure. And yep, she is within range now, and we'll just send 2 torpedoes. Should be more than enough. Can't be using the deck gun to finish it off with that warship there, so let's get tube 2 and 3 away. Well, there we go, 2 good hits, and the damage is absolutely critical. She's going straight down, heaps of fireworks right there as well. That's obviously good to see. And she's a goner, and there's a searchlight on right there, so we are going to be straight away on the retreat. Let's get away from these guys. And that's pretty much the biggest target that we can get from this convoy. There is other stuff in here available, but we'll just keep moving away. Obviously we want to try and avoid these warships, and as long as they keep circling like that, we're going to get away pretty well. So we'll keep moving, and we'll try and find something else before we wrap it up, but we still have a lot of kilometers to do in the search area, but we've already sunk quite a lot, so we'll keep on the move, and we'll try and find ourselves another convoy or maybe some lone ships if we can. But let's get on the move. We've evaded that quite well. Okay, we've got ourselves another convoy here, 10 to 22 ships. That's a pretty decent sized convoy for us. Obviously there's going to be a couple of escorts. There's 2 already on show. Let's take a little look-see and see what we can be dealing with. We've got a C3 here, and as if I needed to even check the name, it's the same ship we've sunk every time. Must be getting a bit repetitive now. And there's a destroyer there. That probably needs to go. And there's this one here coming in from the north. Should probably take that out as well, but let's just start off by figuring out their angle. So they're pretty steep, almost around about 170 or something, 160. Let's just have a look, and it is north to south, and that's 156. We can roll with that, and I think we'll take out one of the destroyers first, and that'll open up the flanks, and then we can, you know, because we don't have the snorkel, we'll have to kind of play a bit of hide and seek, and we'll come in for a secondary attack after that. But first of all, we want to get rid of definitely one of the destroyers. So there we go, we'll lock on to this one. I think that's probably the best bet. It's quite a difficult angle to tell what that is at the moment. A couple of big masts, one funnel. I might actually need to back out of here and have a look at it just to be sure what it is. Otherwise we'll get the wrong recognition there. So it's kind of got one small funnel, a couple of guns in the middle, big stack on the bridge. Okay, let's see what we can figure that out as. Kind of looks like a hunt class. Let's roll with that. So 156 is their angle. Going to be a little bit tricky to do the solution here, but we'll give it a good shot. And when it gets a little bit closer into range, we'll probably double check everything just to be sure. But we can get most of all of that worked out right now. Let's take a little look as well. Is there any big ships in here that we want to prioritize? The C3 there. That looks like another C3. Tanker maybe. There's actually quite a lot of decent ships in here. A couple of C3s, a couple of tankers, a couple of destroyers that will definitely need to be dealt with. But I think the priority will be to just take down this first destroyer, this hunt class, and then we can really open up the convoy for a secondary attack. And there might be a bit of deck gunning available here, so we could probably do a distance check, and then we'll do a speed check. I don't know how accurate that's going to be. We may need to double check that after. And we'll stop the clock right about there. 7 knots, I can believe it. And we'll just send one torpedo. I think a T1 should do the job as long as it's not a dud, and that should hopefully sink it. So tube number 4 flooded, and fire it away. Well, there we go, a good hit, and that looks like some good damage. Let's have a look and see. She is not looking too good, no fire, but hopefully it's going to be enough. Yep, that damage is critical. She's going to go straight down to the bottom, and that is going to open up that whole flank for us. Obviously the warships are going to come searching over this side, so we're going to evade, and we'll try and poke up on the other side, and maybe we can get a good shot away at one of these C3s or a tanker or something. Alright, we are back with them, and we have this C3, which is the closest target to us. They have slightly changed their course a little bit since that last attack, but we can recognize this as a C3. and obviously we've got their course, so let's just do a quick distance check, and she is within range. So now let's figure out what speed she is doing, and she should be good to go. And stop the clock there. 8 knots, okay. And 2 cold torpedoes, that might not be good, but hopefully we're going to get 2 good hits here, and it might not be enough to sink it. C3s can be quite tough. It's not worth sending 3 though. 2 normally does do the damage, so we'll send them away. Well, just the 1 hit then. That's not looking too promising, unfortunately, but the damage is pretty good. No fire. Hopefully that's going to kind of inflict a little bit more pain on itself as time goes. Flooding would be the thing that's going to help us here. But I don't think we've got enough torpedoes to just attack and attack and attack. So unfortunately, unless this thing comes to a dead standstill, I don't think it's going to go down quite as easy as I would have liked. Unfortunately, I don't know if it was a dud or a missed torpedo. Probably a dud, seeing as we did get 1 hit. Can't blame it on anything other than it being cold. Pretty sure the solution was good. But if this thing this thing is going to struggle to make its destination sailing like that, so we just need to hope that the damage is going to get... Yeah, there we go. The damage has got much worse, so she will sit here dead in the water. So I think our best bet is probably just to evade any escorts that may come looking for us. And we'll come back and finish this up with the deck gun, and that might be a wrap after that. Probably got a couple of torpedoes left in the tubes, but we've inflicted quite a bit of damage today, and I think as long as we can just keep ourselves alive, really what we want to do is just save ourselves until we've got the snorkel. At least then I know I can evade everything quite easily. These first few episodes are just kind of quite difficult to actually stay alive, especially when you've got warships coming at you like this. But we'll evade these guys and we'll come back and finish her up with the deck gun. And if we can, we'll come in for a 2nd or 3rd attack, just to try and get those numbers up a little bit higher. Okay, we've evaded them quite well, and here we are. We've got the lifeboats quite near to us, so we may as well pick up some passengers if we can. Obviously we're looking for... Here we go, captain and an officer, and then we'll just take anything else. We get more points for the captain and all that. So we'll just send a few shots in, we'll make sure that she goes down and we get the credit for that. And that should just about wrap it up, I think. There's not really much point trying to chase down that convoy. Right, there we go, we're back, April the 4th, and let's take a look and see what we got. Did get a new medal, and we're a little bit towards a new one, and we did achieve 100,000 in the happy place, so that's good. How much total did we get? Now we're up to 122, so we need to get obviously to that 200,000 mark would be pretty ideal. And here's a little list of everything that we sunk. 43,500 tons, not bad, not the best, but not bad. And we did all the objectives as well, so pretty good outing. Well, that's it for today, guys. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the episode. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. Leave a comment on the video. Let us know that you're still enjoying the series. Just to give you a heads up, I've got Sniper Elite 5 in the making. I've just played and recorded the mission to kill Hitler, so that'll be coming quite soon to the channel. If it does well, then I'll probably do a whole series on Sniper Elite 5, but in the meantime, plenty more U-boat coming your way.